Hello everybody and welcome to the second snorkeling video from Scotland. Today I'm going to show you the region of Moray Firth, and here we actually visited 4 different spots. The first one is Pitullie, where we stayed and snorkeled at Pew with the View. The second one is Cullykhan Bay. The third one is the bay near the Macduff Marine Aquarium, and lastly the Portsoy Pool. To show you all of these different spots within one video, I can't show them all separately, so I'm first going to show you clips of all the things that we could find at all of the spots, and I'll put the name of the spot in the top right corner, and then in the end I'll show you a special find for each one of the spots. And just like in the first region, we were able to find lots of these beautiful big kelp forests with sand and gravel areas in between. The kelp growth varies from spot to spot. For example, in Cullykhan Bay the kelp was a lot shallower and there were a lot more big sandy areas. Especially close to shore there are some beautiful rocky landscapes with bladderwrack, thongweed and even more underwater foliage growing on them, and here you'll also be able to find small schools of juvenile fish as well as these snails. Sometimes you'll just find a few of them, but I also managed to find an entire giant colony of them. I'm not sure what exactly was going on here, but there were actually hundreds of them on these rocks. And just like before, we were able to find quite a few of these common urchin on the rocks as well as on the kelp. And of course there were different kinds of jellyfish. Firstly, the harmless and bioluminescent comb jelly. Another harmless one is the moon jellyfish, which we found quite a lot of. As for this one, I'm not quite sure if it actually is a lion's mane jellyfish, but if it is, they pack quite a nasty sting, so I was always staying at quite a distance from them. Same goes for these blue jellyfish, but here I was actually able to record a few fish either seeking shelter or having been caught in the tentacles of it. And we also found lots of these green shore crabs again. As I said, these guys were running around at every single spot within every single region that we visited. We also technically did find a few brown crab, but I don't seem to have any actual recordings of them. Another species that we were able to find all across Scotland are these sand eels. We will always find them in pretty big groups, and they also came in different sizes, the small ones mostly being close to shore and the big ones more out in the open. In Cullykhan Bay there were big underwater caves in the cliffs left and right, and at the entrance we would also often find these sand eels. Back on the rocks, hiding in the underwater foliage, I was able to find quite a few of these smaller fish, but they were so elusive and difficult to film that I couldn't actually identify them. If any of you can tell what species it is, please tell me in the comments. And yet again there were quite a few corkwing wrasse around, and this one actually let me get some really good footage. And in Moray Firth we saw a lot more blenny than in the region before, yet again hiding in the rocks or here in Portsoy Pool on the wall of an abandoned saltwater pool that was never opened officially. Pollock and cod were also some fish that were around on every single dive. We would find the smaller ones closer to shore, but further out and deeper down, most of the time on the borders of the kelp forests, we'd find bigger fish, also often in bigger groups. And the biggest fish species we found in this region was yet again the ballan wrasse, which I didn't manage to get any really good footage of, unfortunately. And this fish is about as big as the ballan wrasse, but I don't think they're the same species because of the yellow stripe on the side, but I do think it could be a different kind of wrasse. And now for the special finds for each of the locations. Back at the abandoned pool, I was almost able to film a butterfish hiding underneath these rocks. And because of the big sandy areas in Cullykhan Bay, we found more plaice here than in any other spot of our Scotland trip. And they also came in all different sizes. Here a really small plaice, but we were also able to find a few adult ones. And in the bay right next to Macduff Marine Aquarium, we noticed quite a lot of these sea gooseberries floating about, and here I managed to get some really good close-up footage, and I gotta say, these things still freak me out. I'm not sure how they work. And on our very first dive of the region, we had just arrived at our stay and decided to jump right in. We found a seal. And this seal is actually known to hunt during the day right in the ocean behind the Pew with a View where we were staying. So they gave the seal a name. His name is Angus. And Angus followed us around basically the entire dive. You just always see him poking out behind a piece of kelp or something. So I was able to get some really good footage. And this is the first seal I've ever found. And that is it for the second snorkeling video from my Scotland trip of this year. Now, I already messed up the trying to upload once a week, but to make up for it, there will be a night dive video from Moray Firth coming out this week, and next week there hopefully will be the video for the next region. So until then.